Hey guys, this is part 5 of the series talking about resiliency, right? So we're really talking about the Buffalo United Resiliency Center, which is supposed to be an autonomous institution established to help the survivors and those directly impacted by the 5/14 mass shooting that happened at Tops Markets in Buffalo, New York. I'm Fragrance Harris Stanfield. I am your guide through the trauma we experienced. I am a victim of the 5/14 shooting. I was present in the store. I was in charge of the front end at the time as the customer service lead for Tops Markets. So let's continue the story that I was at the Buffalo United Resiliency Center location on Jefferson Avenue in March of 2023. And I was asked to send an email to the Buffalo Urban League, who took over the state funds. And I've only been able to trace the $2.5 million that Kathy Hochul sent in October of last year, 2022. And I know that Community Health Center of Buffalo got $3.9 million from the federal government, and that was in March of 2023. So this was in March of 2023. And remember, the director was still in place, the interim director, and the steering committee still existed at the time. So they asked me, what should they stop doing? What should they start doing? What should they continue? I said, stop blending us, the survivors, into the community. This specific traumatic event is the catalyst to the funding. Therefore, without my firsthand experience of domestic terrorism, there would be no money to help the community. So since I was first to be traumatized, I would like to be first to be serviced. Stop treating us as if we chose to be a part of the experience. This tragedy happened to us, not the whole community. Therefore, it is not the same for me to hear about what happened as it is to have experienced what happened firsthand. Watching the video was a choice. For those who did it, imagine the video being your real life experience that you did not choose, nor can you turn it off, and the whole thing was not broadcasted. So our experience was more than what you have the ability to retrieve. Stop mentioning all of the compounded trauma of being Black in America. Yes, all Black people were impacted by this tragedy, but not all Black people had to run for their lives that day. Not all Black people had to wonder daily or have to wonder daily why God left us here alive. Not all Black people have to find new ways to fall asleep at night or to silence the replay of the murderous terrorist attack of the person who came in to hunt us down. Not all Black people have experienced this particular traumatic event. Stop re-traumatizing us by requiring us to defend our trauma and terror that we experienced as a result of the massacre. The purpose of the funding is to bridge the gap between where we were that day on the day of the shooting and where we should be as valued members of society. Start including us in the conversation. We know what we need, and it may not be the same thing all the time. I mean, when does life stay exactly the same and is totally predictable? Start with our earnings at the time of the shooting. For those of us who are working 4.5 months into 2022, divide that by 4.5 so that you get a monthly amount, multiply that by 12, and multiply that by 2, because the Resiliency Center is supposed to support us for 2 years. Make that amount available without fail for basic needs. This is not an unreasonable request for those of us who were on the clock. We were not in the welfare line. Start making this more manageable and less overwhelming. Once a budget is made for basic needs, grocery budget, rent, mortgage, utilities, car note, car insurance, regularly scheduled maintenance, regularly scheduled medical and mental health treatments, we should not have to keep resubmitting. It should just continue without change unless notice is given for it to change. And then continue supporting the director and the steering committee, because they were in place at the time, because they are putting forth true effort to bring true healing and peace to a population of people who have been gravely overlooked and underserved. They have shown that they have the ability to empathize with us as survivors, as victims, and as directly impacted individuals, and those who are present and psychologically injured. So since then, just to bring you up to speed, the interim director did quit after doing a news article with the Buffalo News, so you can look that up. The interim director of the Buffalo United Resiliency Center did do an interview with the Buffalo News before quitting her job, and she quit because she was the scapegoat for these agencies not doing what they need to do. She constantly had to look for funds outside of the funds that were provided in order to provide services to us. And the steering committee was still in place. The steering committee has since been dismantled. They did a survey to tell what we needed as the underserved population, the population of directly impacted individuals. They surveyed us. They disseminated the survey to these agencies. The agencies did nothing. They didn't acknowledge that the survey was delivered. They did not do anything. So there are millions of dollars sitting somewhere collecting interest, right? And while that interest is collecting, we are suffering. And that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 6.